In the Gospel of today's Mass, we hear St. John the Baptist come to the end of his ministry, and as he is doing so, he gives his most famous line, or at least one of them, where he says of Jesus, "He must increase, and I must decrease." What is happening in the Gospel is that Jesus has come on the scene after his baptism and has begun his public ministry, and the disciples of John the Baptist have heard John say, "Here's the one. He's the one. Follow him." But they're worried because they've been following John for a long time, and they're attached to John, and they trust John, and they're a little weary about leaving John to go follow this new guy. And yet John is very clear. He's the one. Behold the Lamb of God. This is the one of whom I spoke. Follow him. And people worry. There's a transition of power. Who's the new guy? And we like the old guy. John the Baptist does one of the most important prophetic things that any prophet could do, and that's why he's the greatest of all the prophets. He does not hold power for himself. He does not use his prestige and influence to his own benefit or gain. Rather, John knows what his life is about. From the time he was in the womb of his mother Elizabeth and Jesus came near in the womb of Mary, John leaped for joy that Jesus was there. John knew that his life was not about him. His life, like all of our lives, is about someone else. It's about Jesus. And most especially, this whole creation is not an end in itself. It's about a new creation, a life that goes on forever. So anytime that we would see a desire to hold things to ourselves, to increase our power, to hold on to our own influence and prestige in this world as though this were all there is, to try to maximize it, to increase it, to never let go of it, well, whenever we do that, we become a false sign. We make an idol, really, of this world and created things and of power itself. That's why John in our first reading today says, "Beloved little children, beware of idols." There is always the tendency for us to place something else ahead of God. And that can even be the good things of this world. There's nothing wrong with power and influence and prestige. Jesus tells us those are very dangerous things because they can corrupt our understanding. But in all, used for good, to bring about a greater good, everything can be a part of God's plan. But there comes a time when we need to decrease, to allow the things of this world, even the good things, to take their proper place, which is always in submission to the greater things of heaven. So you might ask yourself today, how does your life and the way that you use the things of creation and your own prestige and esteem in the world, how does it help point others towards the truth that this world passes away and the only thing that lasts is heaven? Do you live your life in a way that people would readily see that truth? Or rather, might people look at your life and say, sure looks like they're putting a lot of their attention on this world. They want more of it and they don't want to get rid of it, and only begrudgingly do we let go of it? If so, your life not only might be a bad prophecy, it might be an idol. We don't want to be a false idol, a stumbling block for anyone else coming to know the truth of Jesus. The truth is that whatever good this world offers, it pales ultimately in comparison to the life that is promised us in heaven. So if we really believe that we're headed towards someplace else where nothing is taken away and only more is given, well, maybe we should start acting like it. Maybe we should take the words of John the Baptist to heart and not only realize that we really don't have as much control over this world as we think, but really the whole point of this world is to decrease. But not decrease so that we would be less, rather decrease here so that we might increase in the life of heaven, in the life of grace. If we can do that, then not only is it not a bad thing that we would decrease, we can actually thank God that we are free to let go of the things of this world. We can actually be free to decrease so that we might truly increase. Let's be more like John the Baptist today and be a good prophet. And God bless you.